And then we move on to the advanced stage. The advanced stage means that your arms are bigger than 99% of lifters. So you are already a monster, but you want to be a super monster. In that case, what do we do next? Do we do more sets? Do we do more volume? Do we find a secret variation that is going to blow up our arms? No. I've made insane arm gains in the past 3 months and I did nothing new. I just refined the process. So we're going to take all of these steps we already did and we're going to condense them to create a diamond. That's the exact thing we're going to do. So in step 5, you're going to pick one more movement for biceps and triceps. 1, not 5, 1. And we're going to pick a movement that is as strict as possible. So it's going to be something like a preacher curl that is super strict or a machine movement for the tricep. Strict does not mean that your body doesn't move. There are movements for the triceps that you need to move your shoulders and elbows to recruit the long head, okay? Don't make me say what I didn't say. What I want is a movement that completely deloads the rest of the body, even more than a standing curl. A standing curl still sort of recruits the shoulders, the core because you're standing, etc. A preacher curl is pure bicep. We want to make sure that the stimulus goes to the muscle and also that it doesn't impair with the rest of the program, because if you're at the advanced stage of arm training, most likely you're also fairly advanced for the rest of your training, so you do a ton of work. It's still, quote unquote, only 3 bicep movements and 3 to 4 triceps movements. You are not going to do the 3 of them or the 4 of them. The reason is, for what I explained previously, doing too many rotations and variations, if they're not soft, can lead to stalling. Stick to your 3 favorites. You only need 3 solid men to conquer a city. You only need 3 solid movements to create big biceps. Yours truly only does 1, 2, 3, technically only 3 movements for the biceps. I do standing curls, I do preacher curls, and I do easy bar curls. That is all I do. And that is enough to grow. So this is what we're going to have you do instead. We're going to rotate. So for week 1, you might do 2, and then week B, you're going to do 2 as well. That way we keep it fresh and we keep you training bicep. The worst thing that can happen is that you get hurt, your tendons cannot take the training because you're starting to really do a lot of volume for the bicep and tricep, and the elbows are fragile, sadly. Or you are at a point where you just don't want to keep going because it's not fun anymore. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. Rotations are going to do that for you, as I just explained. Rotations are also doable for intermediates, but as I said, it's more risky because it could trigger lifter ADHD, where you just chase a new rotation all the time and a new variation. So try to prevent that as much as possible. The reason why I think that this method in particular for advanced lifters is important is because I've noticed that for arms, you have to keep putting weight on the bar and you have to keep doing more and more reps, more and more sets until you get to a point where you can add more weight, then you can go back down in sets, etc., etc. If you're confused by this explanation on progressive overload, I made a full video about the 85% rule that perfectly explained this entire process. And that was for step 5. So this is the last step. Most likely, if you're a noob and you have small arms, this step will be in like 4 or 5 years. So you have plenty of time, okay? No need to worry about whether or not you understand step 5. You're going to be fine. Then step 6, which is the last step, is how much work do we do? I introduced that portion by saying that we're not going to start doing a ton of work, and we won't. We're still only doing 6 to 15 sets because we want to, again, focus on putting weight on the bar and not end up doing too much volume for nothing. This is the point of your training where any pockets that you have of recovery available to train your arms, train them. Don't even question it twice. For me, I'm at a point where I train biceps literally every 2 days. Every 2 days I train biceps, every 2 days I train triceps, sometimes more than that. Why? Because you are at a point where you are going to have to put in so much work for so little result that you have to find a way to game the system. And the more you can train the biceps throughout the week and the more you can recover, and the triceps as well, the more you can game the system because the more you can put in and the more you can get back. And that is that.